the lost episode of Family Guy. The episode starts typically enough. Peter, Quagmire, Cleveland, and Joe are having a drink at the Drunken Clam. Peter is in the middle of one of his pointless ramblings, recounting the time he tried to replace his own blood with barbecue sauce to make himself more appealing to bears. Suddenly, mid-sentence, Joe's face vanishes for a split second. It just erases, leaving a smooth, blank beige oval with no eyes or mouth, before instantly snapping back to normal. None of the guys seem to notice except for Peter, who immediately chalks the hallucination up to cheap beer and keeps talking. The weirdness continues back at the Griffin house. During dinner, Lois is serving mashed potatoes, but the spoon in her hand begins to melt, dripping onto the table as a gray, smoking sludge. In the living room, Brian is reading a newspaper and watches in horror as all the letters on the page start to slide off, pooling into a black, pulsating puddle of ink on the rug that slowly begins to crawl toward his paw. Stewie is the only one who grasps the scale of the disaster. He runs around the house with various gadgets, shouting that the stability of their reality is compromised and that the animation budget is drying up right before their eyes. The real nightmare begins when Chris enters the room. The right half of his body looks normal, but his left half is just a rough, twitching pencil sketch through which the wall behind him is visible. Chris complains that he feels kind of unfinished and that the part of him that hasn't been colored yet is itchy. While the family panics, trying to understand what's happening, the reality around them begins to disintegrate. The walls of the Griffin house lose their color, becoming transparent and revealing only a swirling void beyond. Meg starts to scream, but her cry is cut short when her mouth suddenly relocates to her forehead and her eyes slide down to her chin, twisting her face into a grotesque Picasso-like mask. Peter, trying to stay calm, suggests they all hide in the basement because it's always safe there during tornadoes and zombie Jew invasions. But when he opens the basement door, the stairs are gone. Instead, there's a gaping hole into a white void from which distorted, slowed-down voices of characters from early seasons can be heard begging for help. Stewie realizes their world isn't just collapsing, it's being erased. He gathers the entire family in the center of the living room, which is now just a few colored blobs floating in nothingness. He activates a device designed to stabilize their existence. The device triggers, and the world around them sharply reboots. The house, the furniture, and their bodies snap back to normal. Everyone looks whole again, though deeply shaken. Peter, as usual, breaks the silence with a stupid joke, suggesting they all just forget about it and watch some TV. The family sits on the couch. Everything seems normal. The camera slowly pulls back, showing them from behind, watching the working television. The episode ends with a static shot that lasts just a bit too long. We see the backs of the Griffins' heads. Suddenly, Lois turns her head to look at Peter. Her face is completely blank, a smooth beige oval without a single feature, exactly like Joe's face in the bar. She stares at her husband with this faceless visage, and a distorted, looping laugh of Peter's resonates from the TV before the screen abruptly cuts to black.